Welcome everyone to our first, but I'm sure it's not going to be our last, virtual MSDx. So for those that don't know me, my name is Alain Frisco and I'm Director of the Melbourne School of Design. And I'm also joined with Professor Alain Frisco, Director of the Bachelor of Design, Professor Donald Bates, Associate Dean of Engagement, and Associate Professor Janet McGaw is also joining us tonight, who looks after our architectural thesis students. And then we've also, it's fantastic, the Victoria Louise King, who's currently the RIBA Silver Medal winner from 2019 to 2020, is joining us to reflect on her incredible success since completing her thesis last year. Donald's also going to be inviting representatives from Bates Smart to join us to announce one of our awards. But I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we gather, which may be multiple lands given the location of everyone listening in tonight. And I pay my respect to elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians present. And so it's my pleasure to formally announce MSDx is live. But before you all run off to view the visual extravaganza that has been put together by our incredible events and marketing team, importantly to mention Michelle Burder, Tim Powell-Wright, and James Rafferty, we wanted to say a few words about MSDx and reflect on the semester we've all had. And who could have imagined that in November last year, when Donald, Julie and I would normally be standing at the top of the stairs, shouting across the packed atrium that our next MSDx would be broadcast in the middle of a global pandemic. And to shift an entire design school into a virtual campus would have seemed unimaginable only 6 months ago, yet collectively, we all did it. And we often talk about the importance of our professional staff who don't always get the recognition they deserve. And we try our best to acknowledge and make sure our sessional staff and tutors feel that they are an important part of the MSD community. And never has it been more important to thank each and every one of you for getting us through what was new and clearly uncharted territory. There were a number of bumps along the way, but the quality of the student work that has been produced has certainly not been compromised. And from workshop staff who had to be quickly redeployed, to staff having to quickly grapple with a new learning management system, and from the Belt team, what would we have done without you? And to our housemates and families who have had to put up with a bunch of designers trying to mutate our domestic worlds into ad hoc studios and offices, and to our students for all of their patience. We thank each and every one of you. And we're not out of the woods yet. The semester one has proven that whatever gets thrown at us as students or staff, we'll find creative ways to adapt. Now, I wrote in the MSD brochure at the beginning of semester that change is the process by which the future invades our lives. It is a roaring current, one which is so powerful today that it overturns institutions, it shifts our values, and it shrivels our roots. Now, this was a quote taken from the 1970 publication Future Shock by Alvin and Heidi Toffler. And the concept of future shock, which the Tofflers presented to us, was the dizzying disorientation brought on by the premature arrival of the future. Now, when I wrote this back at the end of February, I was actually reflecting on the catastrophic bushfires which tragically appear like a distant memory. We could never have anticipated what was to unfold over the coming months. The climate crisis offered a tremendous new challenge for all of our design disciplines, but it was also an opportunity to translate the climate challenge into an imaginative and possibly an optimistic future. But now, only 4 months on, with the addition of a global pandemic, being optimistic might appear harder and harder to do, or really to even imagine. But having confidence, though, that we can collectively move our school and our university forward in terms of the role that the institution can play in a larger societal landscape is something that's incredibly important right now, and an incredibly important project to believe in. And as I said at the beginning of the year, our project, as we look ahead to another uncertain semester, is to continue to produce and to foster incredible talent within a faculty and a student body. But importantly, we need to keep reminding ourselves that the school also sits within a larger world, and it has never been more critical that we at MSD understand ourselves in relation to and in dialogue with that larger world. And so all that's left for me to say before handing over to Helene is a huge congratulations to all of our students across all of our disciplines. And a huge thank you to our teachers, to our tutors, to all our academics, our postdoctoral researchers, our professional staff, our events and marketing team, the finance team, the research team, parents, partners, friends and families, as well as your dogs and cats that we've all seen on Zoom. And once again, for the BELT team, we can't thank you enough. And finally, to those who are graduating, there is no question that you're entering your professions an incredibly fragile and uncertain time. But importantly, you've got to remind yourself that you're also part of a generation who has the opportunity to rise to today's challenges and completely rethink and remake everything that we have taken for granted for far too long within our built environment. And so best of luck wherever your future takes you. Thank you, and enjoy the night, and I'll hand over to Alain to say a few words on behalf of the Bachelor of Design.
Thank you, Alan. My name's Alain Frisco. I am the Director of the Bachelor of Design and Professor of Architecture and Philosophy. On behalf of the Bachelor of Design, which includes 12 disciplinary pathways across 3 faculties, Architecture, Building and Planning, Fine Arts and Music, or better known as the VCA, and the Melbourne School of Engineering, I welcome you to this unprecedented virtual event to celebrate the hard work of our students and our colleagues. Now, I've recently joined faculty here. It's been quite some timing, arriving from the Royal Institute of Technology, KTH, in Stockholm, Sweden, where I formerly led the teaching and research group Critical Studies in Architecture, well known for its gender and intersectionality concerns in architecture and for fostering creative and critical relays between theory and practice. If news media is to be believed, I've managed to make a timely escape from Sweden. Still, here we are in Melbourne, still online, still exploring what it means to inhabit a virtual campus from the comfort or discomfort of our homes, all trying to stay healthy and look after our families. What an extraordinary challenge. But I do believe we have managed to collectively meet this challenge. And this MSDx online exhibition is evidence of that. I've been enormously impressed by the abundance of work undertaken by students under such extreme circumstances. They're striving and stumbling, picking themselves up again, persevering, coping amidst these COVID-19 times. It's been really impressive to watch on. And I'd like to stress that this exhibition is by them and for them, as well as being a chance to proudly open up to our local community and of course to our international community who managed to tune in, which is one of the upsides of presenting this event online. I also want to take this opportunity to thank colleagues in engineering and in fine arts and music at the VCA, all of whom contribute, of course, to the Bachelor of Design. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you, albeit online this semester, and great to have you involved tonight too, and your students within the Bachelor of Design. The diversity of our disciplinary mix and expertise is what makes the Bachelor of Design such a special degree, I think, and I'm still getting to know it myself. It composes a very complex diagram. Our 3 faculties and the broader university have been undertaking immense work exploring all the myriad ways pedagogy can be reinvented across diverse platforms and using an array of software. In many ways, it is because of our current situation that some of this learning has been fast-tracked, and we have made discoveries and changes that would not otherwise have been possible, I think. Students have been very much part of this process of discovery, sometimes showing us the way forward, being extremely patient with us as we attempt to kind of employ and launch softwares that some of us might be a bit unfamiliar with, attempting to kind of deal with this interface of Zoom on a daily basis. Likewise, we've been depending a great deal on the professional practice experience of our sessional staff, who have been obliged to pivot to online teaching and learning right alongside us faculty members. And we owe an extreme debt of gratitude to them in working alongside us. Now, I've already had a sneak preview into some of what's going on in MSDx. I've had the pleasure of a couple of guided tours through design studio work, discovering instances, for example, where students are not only designing their own projects, but also designing the virtual spaces in which their projects are on display. It's kind of double the work that they're undertaking here. So take a close look as you survey all of what's on display. Tonight, I also imagine many families are tuning in, and we want to acknowledge the immense support you're offering in the background. Sometimes we see you passing fleetingly by during our Zoom sessions. A warm welcome to you. And finally, I also want to reiterate thanks to our curatorial and events team who've made this possible as well tonight. It's been a big challenge for us all, and as Director of the Bachelor of Design, I've been reflecting especially on our incoming first-year students, having to commence a university experience after the first 3 weeks at least of semester online. This is really a challenging time for them, I think, the younger students. And then, of course, our graduating students, whether at the conclusion of the Bachelor of Design or at the conclusion of their master's degree. To see your degree through under such circumstances are extraordinary. But I want to congratulate you all and wish you all the best of luck. And now I'm going to pass over to Professor Donald Bates. Don, it's over to you.
Thanks, Helen. Thanks very much. And thanks for giving such a good wrap-up of, particularly for the Bachelor's Design. Now, according to my schedule, I'm supposed to move to the Bates Smart Award and Medal, but before I do that, I'm actually going to transfer over to Janet McGaugh, Associate Professor Janet McGaugh, who is in charge of the thesis studios. And it's really from the selection of the very best of the thesis studios that the Bates Smart Award is chosen. So I'll turn it over to Janet, and Janet will say a few words about the very best students of the end of the year. Janet.
Thank you, Donald. I am absolutely thrilled to be announcing the top students, because I was amazed at the standard of work that was produced under these circumstances. The dedication, the resilience, the creativity and the skill was amazing. We had 10 students that were very high achievers, and I'll read their names out now. Boyd Helya Knox, Mitchell Sack, Stuart Yeep, James Bowden, Song Tae Huan, Danielle Abayan, Marciel Marbus, Natalie Cainton, Audrey Songen and Brendan Pearce. All of these students scored extremely high first class honours for their final projects. And it's from this group that the Bates Smart Award was selected. I won't give that away, but I will just say a bit about it. The top couple of students that we had this year, Boyd Helya Knox, I'd like you to have a look at his at Studio and MSDx gallery space, because his work was a sustained meditation on interiority, which I don't think he had any idea would be as appropriate as it was when he began at the beginning of the semester. He did a collection of extraordinary wood and soap maquettes. There's exquisite detailing at a very fine level and very thoughtful reflections on a range of socio-political and geological ideas of what interiority means for architecture. And then we had another completely different take on a different kind of wicked problem that we are facing in our world today by Mitchell Sack, who took on the contemporary challenge of remediation and transformation of damaged environments with his project at the Yarraville Oil Terminal and Coode Island Petrochemical Store. And he asked a question about how you might redeem past sites' histories of pollution, and how might spillage itself become some generator of design formally, spatially, programmatically. It's projects like these that give us hope that you guys are going to go out and do amazing things and imagine new futures in the fragile world that you've inherited. So congratulations. It's been a real honour to watch you develop this semester. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janet. So with that as a prelude, really highlighting the really exceptional quality of our thesis students, who are effectively our graduating students as well, I'd now like to bring on Associate Director Johan Hermianto from Bates Smart, so that he can both give a little bit of a background of the Bates Smart Award and Medal and announce the winner for this semester. Johan, it's over to you.
Great, thank you, Don, and good evening, everyone. I hope this stream finds you well, and congratulations again to everyone, students and studio leads, on another successful semester, especially in light of current circumstances. For those of you graduating, a very big congratulations to you. It's my pleasure to present and announce the Bates Smart Award and Medal for Outstanding Design for MSDx Winter 2020. I was part of a judging panel that consisted of Helya, an associate from our studio, as well as Jingle Chen, the recipient of the medal last semester. We had the privilege of reviewing a very long list of thesis projects that represented the work of very talented, focused, and outstanding individuals. These projects covered a very wide range of relevant topics and architectural outcomes that range from the speculative to the hyperreal. The quantum of research, sleepless nights, and sheer determination was evident in the crafting of these high caliber projects, especially with the current pandemic. So a very big congratulations to all those who were put forward for the prize. We drew a short list of 5 graduates whose work resonated with the discourse we often have within the practice and embodied the ability to shape and inform its trajectory. So we were also really drawn to projects that moved us emotionally and poetically. The flawless presentations made it very hard for us to select a winner this year. But ultimately, we chose a candidate whose work we found to be rigorous, exceptional, and had an approach that was really well conceived, demonstrating an artistic approach to research and analysis of an industrial history that we have within the city. The design thesis put forth a compelling proposition of how adaptive reuse of industrial buildings can provide a legacy for Melbourne's future. A robust, poetic, and highly crafted project. So I'm very happy to announce that the winner of the Bates Smart Award and Medal is Mitchell Sack. Got your medal here as well, which will be great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll meet you in person soon.
Over you.
Thank you. Over to me. Thank you, Johan and Bates Smart, for the award. It's a really big honour to have been chosen for it, and it was really, really great to present the project and have that dialogue with you guys as well the other day. I really enjoyed that. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Alex Selenich for taking the project on as supervisor. Your wisdom and your guidance this semester was really appreciated, and I learned a lot. I'd really also like to thank Heather Mitchell-Tree as well for all of your time and all of your design input and guidance through the semester too. And then also to my family, my friends, and my girlfriend as well for putting up with me all semester and for the support as well. And just a really well done to all the other students that have completed this. It's a pretty strange time. And thank you to all the staff as well for making it happen. And hopefully, next semester we can see some equally great results across the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mitchell. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And can I also just give some congratulations to all the thesis students, both those who were shortlisted, but also those who were on the long list. And I know that it really was a difficult selection process on behalf of Bates Smart, because there was really exceptional work, as Janet has already discussed. So congratulations to all of those whose work was seen as part of this award. I do want to say that the Bates Smart Award is a very prestigious award, both the award and the medal. and we very much appreciate the support that Base Smart has given to the faculty over many, many years. But it's not our only award, and we do have an award series that's announced usually in March as part of the Dean's Honors Awards. And I think it's only appropriate to just at least mention those at this moment. So I'll do that very quickly. We have awards that are named awards that come from ACOM, that come from the Architects Registration Board, the Australian Institute of Building, the Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, the Australian Property Institute, the Chartered Institute of Building, the Denton Court and Marshall Office, Design Inc., from Dulux itself, Grimshaw Architects, Hanson Yuncken, John Wardle Architects, Kane Construction, Regalia Group, SGS, SJB, Tarkit, and for all of those people and all of those groups, as well as Base Smart, we want to thank you very much for being able to support our students. It's very important that we recognize the excellence of the students, but also the ability for them to form partnerships and long-term relations with some of these sponsors and supporters of the faculty. So thank you all again. Now, I'm going to hand it back to Professor Alain Pert, and he's going to have a little bit of a conversation with Victoria Keane. So Alain, it's back to you if you unmute yourself.
Thanks, Donald, and a huge congratulations, Mitchell. And I think just to reiterate as well, just Janet's sentiments about the quality of the work. It's incredible how many students achieved an H1, and there is some really outstanding pieces of work. And I think that, you know, we always talk about our thesis being one semester. You know, it's a huge challenge to turn a research-based thesis around into a recognisable architectural output in the space of 12 to 14 weeks. You know, it's one of these conversations we've had over the years about the RIBA awards, because you're up against a European contingent where they take a full year to do a thesis. So it's quite incredible when we actually get a result from submitting for the awards. But it was a real pleasure last year. Myself and Professor Jenny Lee co-taught Victoria Louise King, and an incredible body of work. And it's also, when we reflect back, again, it wasn't a straightforward semester. I'm sure Victoria will talk about that. You know, some of the times as a tutor, one of the things that Jenny and I didn't have to do necessarily was a lot of drawing over Victoria's work. Most of the time it was just a kind of a nurturing through semester. And incredibly, when you look back to think, there was a couple of moments where Victoria thought about actually pulling out of thesis and thinking, maybe this isn't for me. And we couldn't quite believe it, given the level of production that was being carried out. So look, it's a delight to be able to invite Victoria back to reflect on it. We're still within that 1 year cycle, so she's still the silver medal winner, and disappointingly not wearing the medal, which is quite a beautiful souvenir. But Julie Willis and I had the pleasure of going with Victoria to London, where she was presented with the medal by Norman Foster, who himself was a silver medal winner. I think just importantly to say a few words about the RIBA silver medal, which is, I think it's fair to say, it's widely regarded as the most prestigious prize in architectural education globally. And it's given to the best design work from students undertaking Part 2 or equivalent. And it's been going since 1836, which is quite incredible. 408 schools of architecture located in 80 countries around the world are invited to take part. So it is no small feat to win this. And Victoria's project explored how the delicate ecosystem of Sydney Harbour estuary could be renewed amidst an extant landscape of post-industrial degradation. So it looked at this notion of surface tension and a kind of post-industrial instability, and taking maritime artefacts as reconceived as productive infrastructure to form a network of monitoring and observation sites across the estuary. So I think it's enough for me, but I want to just invite Victoria to come in and just to to maybe reflect on that, because it was an amazing experience. And I think it'd be great to hear for staff and for other students to hear what's really happened since you won that award, because I know you've gone into practice. And
Yeah.
you've also been invited to take part in a book. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hi. Oh, thank you so much for asking me to join in this event. It's really wonderful to see you all. And I'm really looking forward to having a look at some of the projects after this. But yeah, no, it's quite surreal to think that just before the pandemic started, I was able to go to London to present at the RIBA Gold Medal Crit. I was very lucky to go there just in time. But yeah, no, it's been a very surreal experience, that's for sure. And I think what's been really interesting is that since finishing the project, you know, it's almost been a year now, but I've, you know, winning this award has allowed me to kind of stay in that headspace of that project and to continue to think about it and write about it and articulate it in different ways. So really it has felt like it's stayed with me. I haven't stopped thinking about some of those ideas that I was exploring. So in many ways it's kind of, yeah, been a really wonderful opportunity for me to kind of continue that thinking. But yeah, no, I'm also back in Sydney now, which has also been really wonderful to kind of walk along the harbour and imagine some of the kind of ideas that I was looking at in a physical context, and actually to walk those spaces again has been really wonderful.
And Victoria, can I just check it?
And yeah.
When you won the award, you were invited in to take part in what's called a big crit, where the jury members actually interrogated all the shortlisted entries. Yeah. Yeah, so that was in February. It was all of the student award winners are invited back to present in a celebration for the gold medal winners. So this year's winners were Grafton Architects, and so traditionally you present your work to the gold medal winners, so which was a wonderful opportunity to meet Yvonne and Shelley, who were so generous with their engagement in all of our projects, and just really passionate about you know, what they do, and it was really wonderful to meet them. The other thing that was really wonderful was that this year, well, all of the award winners were women. So I think that was a really important and momentous kind of moment to have 5 female winners of all of the RIBA awards. Yeah. And it was nice just for it not to go to the Bartlett for a change. Yeah. Yeah.
There were definitely still some Bartlett. I think the bronze medal winner and also one of the dissertation medal winners was the Bartlett. Yeah.
So are you're working in practice now?
Yes, I am. Yeah, working at a firm called Weston Williamson and Partners, and so I'm actually working in an urban design kind of space at the moment, which is been quite nice. I think the scale at which I was working at in my thesis was kind of simultaneously macro and micro scale, so it's been kind of interesting to practice more of that more, you know, broader scale kind of design thinking. Yeah.
Well, look, you know, as I say, I think it's fantastic to have you along. We, you know, Julie and I managed to celebrate with you in London, with you and your mum. It was a fantastic night, but we always talked about maybe doing something back in the faculty, and the pandemic completely derailed it. So we couldn't think of a better way of virtually inviting everyone to enjoy that opportunity, just to congratulate you more virtually. And it was an amazing piece of work for anyone who's never seen the publication that went with it. And I think that's another important thing to say about all the thesis work that you'll look at in the online gallery, is that behind all that thesis work, there's a reflective portfolio that captures all the research work and thinking. And some of those, I think, could easily go into publication. They're so thorough and so rigorous. So, you know, I think Victoria's is quite incredible. I'm happy to if anyone, when we get back into the campus, if anyone ever wants to see it, I've got a very prized single copy in my room. And we've always talked about maybe putting a copy in the library. So look, well done, Victoria, on behalf of the whole faculty in the school. We're hugely proud of you. It was a huge accolade for you, and a major accolade for the school as well. I got a text from Jenny as well to pass on the congratulations. Jenny's over in Adelaide. So both of you are avoiding Melbourne quite clearly, for good reason. Okay, so well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, hopefully I can travel down to Melbourne sometime soon to say thank you in person.
No problem.
Thank you.
Now, Dawn, I'm just going to take the opportunity. I think when we're at MSDx, when we're standing in the atrium, we know everyone's just very, very keen to get on with the night and grab a drink. So the speeches are never easy when it's so loud. But the other thing that we never really get the opportunity to do is just what Janet's done with the architecture thesis, is to call out some really incredible achievements across the school. And I think I just want to seize this opportunity. We're a design school. We represent 12 majors and 8 masters. So we are quite unique in the scale of how comprehensive we are as a built environment school. So I think I just want to seize this opportunity to talk through very quickly some of our disciplines. And I'm going to start with the Master of Construction, and I just want to congratulate Nasia Kiyono, Haley Zai, Sen Lin, Master of Urban and Cultural Heritage, Jennifer Fowler, Jay Cook, and Lydia Dillon, and the Master of Property, Yuang Qing Ho, Shuling Jiyu, and Xingrin Zhao. Master of Urban Design, Larissa Shi, Gunley Agakaura. Master of Landscape Architecture, we have Marina Pizzotti, Alicia Jane Hicks, and Shang Yu Zhao. And I think I maybe missed Victor Allegria in Urban Design as well. Now these are all, these are just a few names to pull out. These are all students with significantly high first class. And I think it really exemplifies the quality of what's happened over the semester. So we never get this opportunity, and we always really wait for the Dean's Awards, which happen towards April or May next year. So these are a lot of names that we'll see on that Dean's Awards list next year. So I just want to say on behalf of the faculty, it's an incredible achievement over what's been quite a traumatic and difficult semester. And you can't underestimate the quality of some of that work. So well done to all the disciplines. And Donald, I'll just hand back to yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. And thanks again to all the students. It was great to be able to, the visual nature of architecture, landscape, urban design tends to be a focus, and certainly also with the undergraduate in terms of architecture, landscape, graphic design, performance design. But we shouldn't forget that the faculty is also made up of construction, property, planning, and as well as much, which is the urban and cultural heritage. So, we really need to celebrate all of the students. And in a certain way, with the virtual exhibition that's now on, we actually have some ways of doing that in a more cohesive and comprehensive way. And that's really important to us. Now, there's a few things to say. First of all, I want to thank those people before. So I want to give a thanks to Johan from Bates Smart, and congratulations again to Mitchell Sack. I also want to thank Victoria for joining us, and of course, Janet McGaw, Associate Professor Janet McGaw, who was here to speak about the architecture thesis students. Now, just quickly, I'm just going to give you a few statistics just for fun. On the website, and I do hope that everybody, if you haven't had a chance yet, that as soon as we conclude this, which will be fairly shortly, that you get a chance to go and look at the website and investigate it in detail. And as Alan introduced this, we really have to give a huge round of applause, a huge thank you, a great deal of appreciation to the events and marketing team for being able to put this online. The website covers 74 subjects and/or studios. There are 739 different students represented on the website. There are over 3,490 images and something like 537 web pages that have been produced for this online exhibition. So please look for it. At the same time, we shouldn't forget that you can navigate there through the MSDx website login. It's also being streamed through Instagram. On the website right now, currently there are DJs that are playing, and immediately after this one finishes, there will be a DJ taking over this spot, a student DJ. There's the Cinema Lounge, which has a range of visual animation and video works that have been produced. So altogether, it really is a sort of comprehensive new way of showing what is also a very comprehensive, multidisciplinary, and very diverse faculty. So I'll turn it back to Alain and to Helene to perhaps wrap it up. But again, thank you all for everybody that has been here. Thank you all for everybody who's tuned in. And please look again. I mean, particularly on this website, the work really allows for detailed examination of the drawings. You can zoom in on most of the drawings quite close and really see the incredible skills and abilities that are evident in our students. So back to you, Alain and Helene.
Well, thanks, Don. Yeah, look, I just want to conclude my section by just thanking Base Smart again for their continued support and all the other sponsors that Donald also mentioned. I think it's also important just to mention that some of the things that have happened during this kind of virtual campus, things like MSD at Home, a completely new series. It's taken advantage of some of those international networks. Again, there's a lot of work in the background to set them up and record them. And the events team and marketing, again, have played a huge part in that. The AA studio, we've had a whole series of talks. To thank Colby and all his team from Here For Now, which was an incredibly successful 3-part series. And we really hope that we can continue these into semester 2. I think, importantly, just to reflect on what we've just gone through, is that we often talk about today's designer as someone who must be nimble enough to move between the art and the science of building and among the social, cultural, political, and economic fog that surrounds all of our disciplines. I think the last few months, if they're anything to go by, we as a group of design staff, tutors, and students have proved beyond doubt just how nimble we all are. You know, studio teaching, site visits, reviews, crits, technology, modes of representation, model making, and digital fabrication. These are all the things we've come to take for granted, and they've all been disrupted. But the acute rupture's not detracted from the quality and the rigour of what we see in MSDx. And that's just, as I say, a huge thank you to everybody in the MSD community that's been part of that. So thank you once again, and I'll hand over to Helene.
Well, actually, I just realized Helene is not here because Helene, as much as this is a celebration and a sort of end of the semester, she's actually doing another webinar for Scotch College to introduce the program to high school kids. So she's not with us, unfortunately, but we want to thank her for her input and everything. And you can sign off, Alan.
All right. So, as I say, look, please take the time to navigate. Enjoy the music as well. There's a couple of DJs that are somehow virtually playing to you. So just take full advantage of it. You know, there's a level of scrutiny that I'm sure students will be fearing that you can zoom in on their drawings. So enjoy the experience. Thank you once again. And for all those that are going to be with us in semester 2, we look forward to working with you. Take care and have a great night.
Alan, can I just say that the Zoom technology has allowed me to actually hear the speeches for probably the first time in years.
Yes, I was wondering when someone was going to make a comment in the chat that they could finally hear me and understand me.
I didn't say understand, I said I could hear you.
Is that a glass of whiskey I see you with?
I don't know who let him in. I didn't know that he was allowed to speak. I thought I had locked it out. Anyway, listen, everybody, thanks again. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. please look at the student work. That's what we're really all about here. It's the work of the students that we want to celebrate and to make visible to as wide a public as possible. So please go in, look closely, and we'll see where we are this time at the end of November. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.
Good night.